Hello and welcome back to the GSL Code A. We're now in our losers match. And poor Seed, man, he's got to play another Protoss versus Zerg. We all know what that means. Unless he gets too old, he's going to have to play on Daedalus.
Yep, he has to somehow win. The most important thing for Seed is to win map number 1. That's the most important thing, because that means he has the map choice in a potential third game.
Yeah.
And now suddenly map pops up and starting map Daedalus.
It's not, though. Yeah. I'm pretty sure, because I looked earlier at the maps. I'm pretty sure Daedalus was not the one. I don't know which one it is. I think it's Frost, if I remember correctly. It's posted on the wall downstairs.
Seed looking handsome as he did in game number 1. There was not enough to win him the series,
yeah,
though.
He looks handsome, but a little bit frustrated.
Yep. And I don't blame him. This is the opening match. It is Frost, Seed versus Savage, Zerg versus Protoss. And it's a losers match, so whoever loses here is out back in Code B. And that is something that Seed, he has been through the roller coaster several times, qualifying, dropping down in Code B again, requalifying, dropping down again, requalifying, dropping down again.
He knows how to play the seesaw.
Yeah, he knows the drill.
See if Savage can take this one as well. Not going to be an easy match for him, looking at things backwards, Zerg versus Protoss. Big map though, Frost. We'll see what the spawning locations are. Could affect the start here. It's time now for our losers match. Savage up against Seed with the GSL Code A. Counter and Wolf.
Savage versus Seed.
Savage spawns at the bottom right. Our first map on the losers match here on Frost. The Zerg player for Jin Air Green Wings is going up against the only Protoss player that we have in this Zerg heavy group. Head was already able to qualify for Code S in the consolation match. It is Dark who's waiting for his opponent. The victor of this best of 3 is going to advance there. And to the top right, as you could just see, we have the Protoss player in blue. It is a Seed, a former FX opener for you player. So what can he do here? Map number 1. It's a very tough situation for him to be in. He has to prepare for one single matchup, but he knows that if he loses one map, he will most likely have to play the next game on Daedalus Point.
This is true. He's got a pylon in the main. Gate goes down. So he's going to be playing a gateway expand on this very large map. It's a 4-player map where he actually, let's see which direction he scouts in. The Overlord, he could have checked for the Overlord and then go to the top left. We've seen players do that before. But had he done that and then the Zerg player had been top bottom right and sent his Overlord to the left side, then it wouldn't matter anyway. He's going to get lucky as it is. Both players are going to scout each other right away. And that's great news for Seed. The thing that he's going to be annoyed about, though, is that he couldn't get down here to force the pool first.
He might fake. He might go for pylon here and just try to sell the idea of, look at that, I'm going to have a couple of cannons here, I better pull a few probes.
Savage already puts one down.
And one is, he's not going to fall for anything like that, and Seed already realizes
Probe leaves. Overlord sees the Nexus drop, so he's going to pull that drone out. At least he should.
Yeah, that's another reason why he already did not get that pylon at the low ground at the natural of his opponent, because he's like, well, the Overlord already spotted my expansion. Of course, there could also be a Forge in the main, but that's even more unlikely. So on this map, I cannot fake him out.
And it would have been too late anyways, basically, at this point, to have a normal timing to make it work. Especially the drone spotters, so... It's just, sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. Seed says no. Takes his double gas in the main base meanwhile. Starts his core. I like Seed's chances on this map.
I think Seed is a player who can definitely make the late game work against Zerg. You got a little bit... I'm not quite sure if you want to call it unlucky what he played against Pat in the first series on Heavy Rain. He had a couple of really cute ideas there, but it was just tough for him to hold his third base, and Pat was aggressive, as he was in the Zerg versus Zerg, a very aggressive player in general. And I mean, it's one of the things that you would expect a bit if you think about his history. It's not only part of StarTale, where we have Zerg players like Life, but he was also part of Xenix when Life was part of that team.
Yeah.
So they basically went through the same school. And Life...
Just definitely
yeah, exactly. Life is definitely the most successful of the two, but that Pat is relying on a very aggressive style himself is not really a surprise.
True. First Stalker is on the way now. And with the Stalker, Zealot, and Mothership Core, could try to be annoying, but in these positions on this map, probably not going to even go for it. The Overlord's already out of here. He's like, nah, I'm not going to get shot by a Stalker. I'll come back in later, find out if you've got a Stargate or a Robo or 3 gateways. Probably not the 3 gateways since you don't have a Forge, but you never know. Seed, he has crisp and crazy builds. This Ling comes over here, wants to spot if there's any pylons at the low ground for his Overlord to come in and check later for tech. The answer is no. Sentry on the way, meanwhile, and the third hatchery will complete. Roach Warren goes down. Very safe timing, actually, pretty fast, but like at 540.
Well, you kind of want to have the Roach run a little bit faster if you get the third base and then go and you know you're going up against the gateway first. So with this, he will definitely have the Roaches there in case there is aggression, but he sees the Chrono Boost on the Nexus, and he knows now that we have the extra gateways at the front. He even gets through with the Ling.
Zerling walks in, and this isn't a bar joke with blondes.
Yeah. Zealot walks into a bar. 1 beer, please. The bar gives no charge for you.
Zerling walks into a main. I like to check out this place. I'm the inspector.
That wasn't funny.
No, it wasn't.
Mine wasn't funny either. I get that, but still.
No, it wasn't funny. Hello, I'm the gateway inspector. I have to make sure. I'm just going to check. Do you have any robotics in this base? No? Okay, I just had to ask also, you know, it's just my job. Do you have a Stargate in here? And if you do, is it making a Phoenix or an Oracle?
Okay, for a second I was like, is he still trying to be funny or is he serious now? So yeah, you're serious. Okay.
No, I'm just saying that that's what Zuri was trying to find out. Yeah, except he's not talking, he's just kind of running around.
No, but yeah, you're perfectly right. It's a serious meta there. There's Zergling in the main base. He wants to know what's going on.
And I think he saw the Forge, actually.
It's a serious Zergling, so it's a serious job there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of Lings here, 16 drones behind this, but these slow Lings are not going to make Seed worry in the slightest about his third base. He's got 5 sentries on the Mothership Core. He's like, LOL, sorry.
Way too many force fields there.
Have you seen my force fields? They do not overlap.
Yeah, look at that. Once again, he gets the perfect force fields off. He just drops 2, couple of Zerglings.
Calmly, too, like slowly.
Very casually, just throws them out there, and they're like, oh my god, look at that. They are perfect.
It's just one after the other. It's almost as if the way he put it was so that it would force the Zerglings to walk one way, then he could grab them with the second one and show off how they didn't overlap. This pressure, on the other hand, is really annoying that Savage is going to have to deal with. He might actually... He just made 16 drones, so he's going to be in this moment where he's like, uh-oh, I got to make a few more units here, because 16 drones is not going to hold this.
Yeah, but he has good creep spread already, and that will slow down Seed a little bit. He will be reluctant to move on to that, and he decides to actually fall back here.
Just a fake out, trying to poke.
Even though he has the Mothership Core with full energy, so he could go for the recall anytime that he needs to. But the third base is just enough for Seed. He says like, yep, I got a reasonably fast third here. I can definitely just play with this turtle up here and try to defend against whatever you do now. So I think he feels like he's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I think so too. And the Robotics and Twilight Council, the two opposite sides of the tech tree, are going up right now. You know, I always wondered, like, how do the Protoss really feel about the differences? Because Twilight tech goes into the Templar, and the Templar are really religious, half of them, the other half are dark. That's why the Twilight Council has its name, the Dark and the Light. But then, like, there's the other side of things, which is all mechanical and robotic. And how do the religious High Templar feel about, like, the Colossi, for example? I mean, they were banned, for a while, and they brought them back because of the Zerg threat. But they're robots, so what do they think about these terrifying things? What do they think about the Immortal, for example? Like, they're like, whoa, this is actually really strong. Should we even be allowed to use this against Zerg?
I have no idea what to say to that. I have actually no clue what to say.
I went off on a rant there. I wasn't even sure what I was saying, Calder.
That explains so much now. I agree, Wolf. You're right.
The thing is, like, what about the Mothership Core? That's like, how did that come in? How did that get explained by lore?
7 Schnitzel sind auch ein Bier.
Yeah.
Well, what is he building there? Gateways. A lot of gateways. We don't have the production tab.
He's making a gateway circle.
No. Just no. Okay, 4th base going up for Savage. So a Seed with the 3 bases that he has definitely starting to gear up. 5 gates in total. He has also the Robo coming up. +2 on the tab as well as for Savage. So right now is really the point in the game where Seed can start to build a pretty heavy death ball here. For Savage, it's super difficult to approach that 3rd base. He can't do a whole lot about it. That's why he gets the 4th. And Seed is just gearing up. I love that Savage is using the Overseer here just to delay this a bit more, because he realizes that that is a pretty aggressive, or that can really hit hard when Seed goes in. So buying himself a few precious seconds is worth a lot here.
Yeah. It's Blink that he stops, though. Not the +2 and not the range, which is annoying, but it's not going to be necessarily the game changer. And unfortunately for him, it's still going to finish in time, it looks like. +2 is almost done. This group of Zealots that he's using in this Warp Prism has not been seen, but actually just barely is, so he's going to leave a few units at home to defend this. Overseer spots and kills that Observer, so there's no more spotting unit for the Zerg army, so Seed has to, based off of intuition and game sense, identify the location in which his opponent attacks him. He sees it now.
And we have still Savage trying to make something work, but so far he doesn't really find the right angle, especially with the Colossus already being there. The one thing that I really like is Savage's tech, though. He's going into Hype already, and that will help a lot. He can go straight into Vipers here. On the other
high
hand,
ground is really annoying. Seed can't mine properly here.
Seed is supply block, which is even a bigger issue.
Forces there do not overlap again. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're absolutely perfect. Losing that one gateway is not a big problem for him. It's just the wall that was there. Of course, production is an issue, but it's not really the turning point in this game or anything. But there's a lot of pressure coming from Savage. With only one Colossus, it's very difficult to withstand it, especially with no range. But he throws it back for now.
Yeah, he holds it, and he doesn't lose his Colossus. That was incredibly good micro and very patient play by Seed. If he had panicked or messed up his micro for just a second, that could have been a really good trade for Savage. But still, 3 Vipers about to come out. +2 going to finish here soon, so he's going to even up those upgrades. And I think that's one of the reasons why that battle went so well for Seed, having the +2 advantage there.
But we have actually the range upgrade now done, and +3 has started. And with the range upgrade and also additional Colossi that he, by the way, does not have in this army yet, he might have forgotten about that one point.
Yeah, it's over there next to his natural.
It's just between the 2 bases, like one of them. So
okay, he just moved it. That's a pylon in the middle there.
Yeah, the other thing is a pylon, you're right. So now he has it finally in his army.
But the Templar he's going to need for feedbacks are going to be sorted to actually like close the gap on those Vipers, because there's so many Hydras to support, and the Vipers can abduct those Colossi so easily if he gets a good angle here. It's all about the micro.
How about Seed is a pretty scary army there. They are both on 2-2 by the way now. That was a quick one, and Storm is not done, and neither is the +3 attack upgrade. Blinks forward here, takes a few units down. The Colossi in the back. Nice, really, how he zones them out. How he makes sure that the Vipers can't get close enough. And the first feedbacks already went down.
Yep, a lot of damage being done on the high ground, though, against his mineral line. He lost several probes. He's down to 55 now. He's going to have to put those back. And just patient play here. He wants to get the Storm out. And there it is. Storm is ready. He blinks back. But not a whole lot of kills there, just damage done. Roaches can take so much. He didn't really connect that much with the Hydralis.
But Seed is playing this really well here. I mean, Savage too, he's just trying to find an opening and trying to go in there at some point. But behind, he's getting base after base. He's even building a 5th base right now. So he's just not only that one-trick pony that tries to go for aggression. At the same time, he's just making sure that he has a really good economy and attack to base it on, even getting those spine crawlers up so that he can withstand pressure from the Protoss player himself and save these bases. But Seed has definitely a shot here with the tech that he has now. Colossi, Storm, everything that he needs.
+3 is done.
But he does not really have a lot of anti-air there. It's not like we have a fleet beacon for Tempest or anything, so he will have to rely on Storms and on the Blink Stalkers. No Void Rays, no nothing.
I just realized, for the first time looking at the production tab, that upgrades have a 1 next to them, no matter what, because there's only one +3 upgrade being researched at a time, and 1+1 UDA upgrade. And
you're a bit slow on that. That was there for a long time.
I know, and that makes me feel like that's really strange. I'm like, well, that's redundant. There's of course only one upgrade. You can't have more than 1+3 upgrade going on at once. Wow. Well. Whoa, that's going to change the way I look at production tab forever. Can't unsee the 1. Here we go, Stalker blinking forward, going to get 2 Broodlords.
That was a really nice snipe up there.
Only gets 1 actually, though.
Yeah, one of them escapes, and he doesn't have the air units, as I mentioned before, but now here comes the big bulk of Broodlords that we have, and that's the issue. But
he wanted to hit before the Broodlords, but unfortunately he's just not quite able to. Storms here are decent. He needs to get underneath them with the Stalker
with all the Stalkers, I feel you could even moving
He could
forward.
try for it, you know? I think he really could. He's damaged them so
he
much
has
as well
enough.
here.
Another round of Warblades, and here we go. Once again, we have the Storms going down. Feedbacks also against the Vipers, sniping 2 of them immediately, but the Blinding Clouds are beautiful. Seed is dropping an army supply. He's down to 90 right now, warping in units once again, and there's always the danger of the Protoss player committing.
That yank on the Warp Prism canceled his Warp-ins, so he doesn't have those units there. He has to warp them in at home.
Oh, you're right.
And that's a huge problem, because that was like 8 Stalkers he was warping in right there. They're walking across the map right now. But that was a crazy pull. Like, we've never really seen that before. It will actually cancel your warp-ins if you pull the warping in units out of the field. They can't finish. And it's treated as a cancel.
But I have to say that Seed is playing this really well. The problem for him is he does not have this much of a bank. Savage on 5 bases now is just... He has such a crazy income. He's currently looking at 3,000 minerals and 500 gas still, and he was up to 4,500 minerals a few seconds ago. So this is really something where he can just switch his tech, where he can just reinforce his army over and over and over again. Seed needs a win, and he needs a 4th base, and that's why we see the Nexus going down now.
He doesn't have enough gas to make a switch to Void Rays or Tempest.
Does he know about this base though? Because if he is moving in at that base, there's no way for Savage to save it after.
His army's too slow. And here we go. He's got a few spines set up over there, but it's going to be knocked down.
Yeah, that base has no chance. It's the Mothership Core here on the other hand. I don't think it is.
I don't think he even has one actually right now.
Because then he cannot recall.
No recall, no Mothership Core. And he actually walks away. He kills a few Harvesters. I think it's worth it to escape. He could have left a few Stalkers there to finish it though.
I actually think it would have been a better choice to send 1 unit over to just scout if that army is arriving.
Oh,
now he blinks
goes
forward.
in.
Here comes the Blinding Cloud. Now the Storms.
1 Storm goes down. Second one does not really hit anything. The Broodlings do have to be dealt with.
He wants to take those Broodlings down with the Storms, but it's
this
always
Roach
so close.
Force is going to kill his 4th base. Maybe his chances of this game. Although these 3 Stalkers, that's what I was talking about. Leave the Stalkers there, just a few of them, to kill this base.
Yeah, now he gets it at the bottom, and that's the smarter choice. I feel he could have sniped it earlier too. Those Stalkers with all those upgrades plus 3, when you have 37, that's like 1-2 volleys more that you need before you back out.
I think... No, he doesn't have... He's trying to make this composition work against 8 Broodlords. To make this work against 3, 4. He loses that Colossus, it looks like. Yep.
Yeah, loses the Colossus and he lost the Stalkers as
well. Oh, this is one opportunity. He takes it. Storm goes down here as well for the Roaches and Hydras. Second Storm is decent.
Really good snipes by Seed. Very good positioning here. But Savage as well is trying to just always shield those Broodlords as much as he can.
He cannot transition. He's stuck on this composition. He's stuck on Blinkstalker Colossus. He can't go into Void Rays. He can't go into Tempest until he gets more gas up. He's mined out in his main base. And all the bases all over the map for Savage. The hatchery at the bottom left looks like it either survived or was rebuilt.
No, it survived. Like, he sent Roaches over and they killed the Stalkers.
Okay, he's still not really mining. He's still not really mining there, but like he's got that hatchery up. He can start to... This is a really important engagement. If he can actually get under there, those Broodlords...
If he gets another Storm in, where are those High Templars? They're moving closer. They might get the Storm off. Nice Blink so far. No Vipers, no Blinding Clouds. There might be the Blink. This could be it.
I think he could do it. I think he could do it. He blinks in. 1, 2,
3,
great Storm,
and the last one,
and 4 is down. Excellent engagement here by Seed. This is his moment. This is his opportunity. He has to push all the way through here. He cannot hesitate.
We have the lava for Savage on the other hand to reinforce his army, and that's what he's doing right now. He's trying to rebuild everything.
35 roaches.
Up to 200 supply once again. So many roaches here. A few of them sent over to the 4th base. There's nothing to defend. He needs another round of warp-ins. But the Stalkers, can Savage really beat the Stalker numbers? He needs to get this army together. That's the first thing that he has to do here.
The Roach numbers that he has need to be supported by those Vipers. Good blinks here. Roaches will finally be cleaned up. Several Harvesters being taken out. It looks like in total he lost about 6 or so. He needs more Storms here though, and I don't think he has the energy. Roach is pushing him back with the Hydra support and those Vipers. The Blinding Cloud's a big issue. He needs to blink back here. He needs to get out of here.
He's trying to escape. He's trying to save those Colossi. The Yanks are good though, and this time he's losing all of the Colossi. All 3 are gone, and suddenly it looks like Seed will just be stomped by Savage here. The Zerg player seems to have too much. He's still at 133 army supply against 65. There are no Colossi anymore to speak of. We have no Immortals against this many Roaches. And even with the Stalker numbers that he had earlier, I don't think it's possible for him anymore to save his 4th base. Yep. And he needs it. He needs that income.
He does. This base over here is going to get thrashed again. Sends all of his units over. He's never going to be able to build an army that can beat Savage again. He can only beat Savage's army once, his first army, but he couldn't beat the next ones. And Savage had that bank. He still has 2,000 gas. He still has 2,000 gas, 2,200, 2,300 now, and Seed will not be able to build the composition needs to beat this army again, I feel. Vipers are here.
I'm so surprised that Savage is not taking out of the 4th base. Crippling the economy and the income of Seed, I feel, is what he should do here. But he wants to go for the killing blow. He might be able to make that move, but the storms are decent. Does he have enough storms to crush this army? That's the question. A few Stalkers, Blink, Blinding Clouds out there. Archons at the front, but the army supply for Seed is nearly gone. Another yank on that Colossus.
He's just starving him out by attacking over here with a few roaches, not even killing the Nexus, trading against the Colossi. I mean, he may get pushed back with this army, but the next army is going to be way too much for Seed.
The reinforcements, that's the big problem. Even this army might be too much for Seed to handle.
He's got +3 attack on those units. He has +1 Carapace for his Vipers. GG. Seed in a terrible place now, and Savage fighting back here after losing a very one-sided ZVZ series.
Savage takes the lead against Seed, and this means that if Seed wins, the 3rd map is going to be Daedalus Point.
He's going to have to win on Daedalus to win this series, but he's going to have to, before that, even win on his map pick. Do you think he's going to pick Habitation Station again? I think he is. Is that predictable, though?
I actually think he won't, and if he does, he will go for a different strategy. I don't think he can really pull this off twice. Because Savage definitely watched that game. He knew at that point already that he might go up against Seed, so yeah, there it is, Altasim Stronghold. It's a different map and I like it, because Seed, as we said, had to prepare for a single matchup. He will have a special strategy for this map as well.
Yeah, and he'll have a special strategy for each player that he plays against. And I feel like playing against Savage, this time he should try to get higher tech units. He was going for that Blinkstalker Colossus +3 timing that we've seen, you know, a lot back in the day on Wings of Liberty, where you try to hit before Broodlords and you hit right when the Broodlords are done. And he barely was able to fight it, and he fought that for so long, and then finally he killed the Broodlord army once, and there was this big push, but Savage had the ability to make like 40 roaches at once, and he already had Vipers ready, waiting for Seed. You got a feel for Seed right now, man. He's 0-1 against a Zerg player who will be able to pick Daedalus and need to go to a 3rd game.
Well, first of all, he has to win the 2nd map, and that's the most important thing right now. He can worry about Daedalus later, but of course it's really a problem here. Losing the 1st map will always result in a potential 3rd map being Daedalus, and Altasim Stronghold is his choice. It's a very different map from Habitation Station. It's much bigger. It's a 4-player map. What does Seed have prepared here for map number 2 for Altasim Stronghold here at the GSL Code S Seed versus Savage, brought to you by Colin Wolf.